Most Americans have more daily contact with their state and local governments than the federal government. Police departments, libraries, and schools, not to mention driver's license and parking tickets, usually fall under the oversight of state and local governments. Each state has its own written constitution, and these documents are often far more elaborate than their federal counterpart. State government, under the 10th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, all powers not granted to the federal government are reserved for the states and the people. All state governments are modeled after the federal government and consist of three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. The U.S. Constitution mandates that all states uphold a republican form of government, although the three-branch structure is not required. Executive branch. In every state, the executive branch is headed by a governor who is directly elected by the people. In most states, the other leaders in the executive branch are also directly elected, including the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the secretary of state, and auditors and commissions. States reserve the right to organize in any way, so they often vary greatly with regard to executive structure. No two state executive organizations are identical. Legislative branch. All 50 states have legislators made up of elected representatives who consider matters brought forth by the governor or introduced by its members to create legislations that become laws. The legislature also approves a state budget and intakes tax legislation and articles of impeachment. The latter is part of a system of checks and balances among the three branches of government that mirrors a federal system and prevents any branch from abusing its power. Judicial branch. State judicial branches are usually led by the state Supreme Court, which hears appeals lower level state courts. Court structures and judicial appointments, elections are determined either by legislation or the state constitution. The Supreme Court focuses on correcting errors made in lower courts and therefore holds no trials. Rulings made in the state Supreme Courts are normally binding. However, when questions are raised regarding consistency with the U.S. Constitution, matters may be appealed directly to the United States Supreme Court.